Well, good afternoon. Welcome back to our third presentation on world geography. For those of you that are joining me for the first time, my name is Gary LeFort. I'm President of Business and Government Services. I'm also a retired associate professor from the American International College in Springfield, Massachusetts. Today we're going to go over the answers, Geography Test 2, and we'll conclude our presentation with a new set of questions that I'll give you in Test 3. When I've developed these questions in the past, I really did it in terms of not just focusing on one region of the world, but actually looking at the different regions that make up the world. And what I like to do is spend a few minutes going over those different regions before we get into the answers to geography test number 2. As I said earlier, when I developed these questions for the different tests, I didn't do it on one specific region of the world. I actually did it on all the regions that you find in the world. And today there's about a half a dozen different regions. Take, for example, when looking at this map, North America, Central America, South America, and Caribbean America makes up generally what's referred to as the Americas. From the Americas, you go into Europe. This is the European area region here. It consists of approximately 40 countries, representing about 20% of the world countries. There's close to 200 countries today. And it is considered the third largest population cluster in the world after China and India. Collectively, Europe represents about 750 million people. From Europe, you generally end up going into Russia. Russia is generally referred to as Euro-Asia. And by that they mean is that the western part of the country, west of the Ural Mountain Range, which cuts down through here, is generally much closely aligned to Europe. The rest of the country to the east of the Ural Mountain Range, including Siberia, is generally considered part of Asia. Besides Russia, when you look at Asia, it includes South Asia here, centered on India, East Asia, centered on China and Japan, and Southeast Asia here, including countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Also, when you're talking about this region, in terms of Adriatic countries, Australia and New Zealand, because it's located in the Pacific Ocean, will generally be associated with this region, even though the culture of both those countries are much more Westerner than Eastern cultures. From Asia, you end up going into the Middle East, which is sometimes referred to as the Arab world. And it includes countries like Turkey, Iran, the Arabian Peninsula, that includes Saudi Arabia, and also the northern part of the continent of Africa, countries like Egypt and Libya. All those countries below northern Africa is generally referred to as sub-Saharan Africa. And by that I mean all those countries below the Sahara Desert, hence its name. And it includes the black African countries that make up this continent. Countries like Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, Angola, and South Africa. So this is collectively what the world looks like when you break it out in terms of regions. Now that you have a better understanding of the different regions of the world, what I'd like to do now is go over the answers to Geography Test 2. Question number 1. Name 15 independent republics that were formed after the USSR, that is the Soviet Union, collapsed in December 1991. The answer are the following countries: the Russian Federation, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Ukraine, Moldova, Belarus, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Question number 2. Name a former country between Nepal and Bhutan. These are two countries located in the Himalaya mountain range. Name the former country between these two countries that became a state in India in 1975. The answer is Sikkim. Question number 3. Name the capital of the following countries. Answers: Romania, its capital is Bucharest. Kuwait, its capital is Kuwait City. Sri Lanka, its capital is Colombo. Mongolia, its capital is Ulaanbaatar. And Australia, its capital is Canberra. Many people think that Sydney is the capital of Australia, and it's not. It's actually Canberra. And Canberra is like the capital of the United States, Washington. Washington is located in the District of Columbia. Canberra is located in the Australian Capital Territory. Question 4. Where is the country of the Maldives located? The Pacific. Answer: the Maldives is a group of islands located approximately 400 miles off the southern tip of the country of India in the Indian Ocean. And really what's interesting about the Maldives, even though it's a very, very small country composed of islands, is a major tourist attraction in the world today because most of the islands are only 6 feet above sea level. And as global warming becomes more and more of a problem and the ocean level rises, then in the foreseeable future, the Maldives as a country would no longer exist. And so people want to be able to say, well, I had visited the Maldives when it still existed as a country. Question number 5. In what year was the country of Israel created? It was created in 1948. After the end of World War II. Question 6. Name the 6 countries that make up the former Yugoslavia. When the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, Yugoslavia broke up into 6 separate states, and they included Bosnia, Herzegovina, Croatia, Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, and Slovenia. Matter of fact, at the time that the Soviet Union collapsed, Montenegro in Serbia formed a political union and for a short time took on the name of Yugoslavia. And after the Kosovo conflict in Serbia, Montenegro decided to break away from the political union. So today you will see these 6 countries as listed as part of the former Yugoslavia. Question 7. Name the peninsula where Spain and Portugal are located. The answer is the Iberian Peninsula. Question 8. Victoria Falls lies between what 2 countries? It's in the southern part of Africa. And the 2 countries are Zimbabwe and Zambia. Question 9. What are the 3 major religions in India? Which of these religions is the largest? The 3 religions are Hinduism, Islam, and Buddhism. Hinduism is the largest religion in India. The country has a population of about 800 million of them practice the Hindu faith. And question 10, what is the name of the native inhabitants of Australia? The answer is the Aborigines. What I'd like to do now is spend a few minutes going over the questions for Geography Test 3. As I said before, this will generally consist of 10 questions from the different regions of the world that I talked about in the beginning of our presentation today. Question number 1. Name the 3 Scandinavian countries in Europe. Question 2. In terms of territorial size, name the 5 largest countries in descending order. Question number 3. The West Indies refer to what part of the world? Be specific as to not only the geographical region, but as much information about where it is. Just don't say Europe, for example, or say Asia. Be much more specific as to where it's located. Question 4. Myanmar is located in Southeast Asia, was historically known by what name? Question 5. Greenland is an autonomous territory of what country? Greenland is just off the northern coast of the North American continent. Question 6. Name the capital of the following countries: Sweden, Venezuela, Croatia, Algeria, and Malaysia. Question 7. Name the ABC Islands and where are they located? Again, be specific. Just don't say the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean. Try to be as exact as you can as to where these islands are located. Question 8. Name the 10 provinces and 3 territories that make up the country of Canada. Question 9. What is the name of the native inhabitants of New Zealand? And finally, question 10. Name the last country in sub-Saharan Africa to gain its independence in 1994. Who was its first president? So those are the 10 questions. Now, if you're interested in downloading these geography questions for all the tests, then you can download them by going to the eastlongmeadowweather.org website. On the upper left-hand side of the web front page, you'll find a link to the questions, and I will also be posting the answers as we go through the presentations. Okay, that concludes the presentation for today. Next week, you'll have the answers to Test 3, and I'll also give you a new set of questions in Geography Test 4. I hope that you're finding this interesting and fun, and that you are having the opportunity to get that global perspective that I'm looking for. I also encourage you to use a global map, and that will give you an appreciation of where all these countries are located around the world. Again, thank you for sitting in on today's session. Be safe and stay healthy, and we'll see you next week.